This is not a spoiler video. The devs themselves in interviews have revealed the reason the goblins are becoming relevant again, and it has to do with Xal'atath. Xal'atath repairs the Dark Heart and brings Nightfall. What is happening? What is Xal'atath doing with the Dark Heart? You remember the last time we saw it, had a little arrow strike to it and got all messed up, and then she had a PMS moment? Well, it looks like she has plans to repair it, and we might facilitate that repair. Let's see what Doran has found out.
In the next major patch, we are getting the Goblins and Undermine. However, as you may know, Xal'atath is the main villain and the main storyline, and we've just learned from the interviews that the true reason we're getting the Goblins is because Xal'atath needs someone to fix her Dark Heart artifact.
Made clicking great again.
The original Dragon Soul was created by the Goblins, and this one will be fixed by them as well. From the roadmap, we know Nightfall is coming in 11.1.5 and the new horrific visions, which will ultimately...
Clearly, yeah, I would say, I mean, based on what Doran's saying, and I agree with this, if Nightfall clearly sounds like a bad thing, right? That's something bad, that's something we don't want, it's going to happen. And horrific visions are coming back in the same... patch, children's update. I don't know what that children's week. That has nothing to do with anything. But if it's the same patch, that means this is an L patch. We're taking an L here. Okay, we're gonna lose, and how we lose, why we lose, probably has something to do with what's gonna happen in Undermine. Yeah. Dark Heart getting repaired seems likely.
Visions, which will ultimately lead us to the Midnight expansion reveal later next year. Xal'atath will like
I'll show you after the video,
the Void the Night cycle to Xal'atath, and through the Old God blood, we will get the horrific visions. So, what are these new interviews, and what do we know about the entire upcoming Void storyline? Did you know you can play the War Within directly on your phone with this video's sponsor? You can control your desktop from your phone completely free, which is perfect when you don't really want to sit at the computer. Super easy to use, just use my link, download the PC and the phone app, and just connect them. The free version is great, you can control your desktop, but the real deal is the game version with custom keyboards for various games such as WoW with great FPS and sound. Make sure to use my code DORAN to get 7 days completely free so you can try it out only for the first 200 people. You also got a smart lock to turn off your PC at any time, as well as hot sales with up to 40% off on Pro and Game versions.
Interesting.
Check out. Awesome. So we know that Undermine is coming. I've talked about this a year ago, and they recently just confirmed this on Warcraft Direct that 11.1 is going to be all about the Goblins and Undermine. That will be the main storyline, but we will also get something with the Haranir, as well as the Titans and the Old Gods. Obviously, Xal'atath is the main theme of the entire expansion, and the Void that is currently set.
All confirmed, but Xal'atath. Like, we haven't, like, the devs really haven't talked much about her. Honestly, we haven't seen anything. We saw some, like, brief cutscenes that are coming up where we see the Haranir chick standing in front of the World Soul and everything. Brief clips from Goblin cinematics that look like we're going to get soon. But where is she? Where's our Bay? Where's our Beyblade? We haven't seen much of her.
Void that is currently setting up the ground for Midnight. However, a big question until recently was why exactly Goblins now? How are they related to any of this? And we've just learned something really interesting from the interviews. So, for the people that have been following the lore for a really long time, you must know about the War of the Ancients and the famous Dragon Soul. Deathwing created this artifact known as Dragon Soul in order to gather the essence of all the various dragonflights for one ultimate weapon. Everyone has seen this, but what a lot of people don't know is that it was the Goblin.
By the way, looking back at all of this shit that happened, I totally think this was an old god plan to awaken Azeroth, right? To make as much noise on the surface as possible. Because remember, he was in the ground, right? Deathwing was in the ground doing his thing, slowly corrupted, decided to rip the entire surface of the planet off, right? That was his plan. He was sundering everything. Why would you do that? Why would the Void want that done? Well, probably to awaken the damn World Soul, to free it, maybe. Because we now know that she is, in fact, in a Titan prison. Yeah, and now it makes more sense, doesn't it?
But what a lot of people don't know is that it was the Goblins that created this. They are the true creators of this artifact. Goblins also worked on armor like Deathwing, as you can see in the famous Cataclysm cinematic. So it comes of no surprise that Xal'atath knew this, and that this is exactly why the Goblins are suddenly becoming really relevant. Xal'atath got the artifact back in Dragonflight, which is essentially the same mechanism as the Dragon Soul. This Dark Heart artifact is known as the Proto-Dragon Soul. And later on...
No, Jamal, she is in a prison. what's it called? In the most recent quest text that we saw, where you go through all the Titany shit, they revealed that I just did a video about it over the weekend, and I released that over the weekend. She's in a Titan, like, they call it, to protect her. That's what the Titan said, that we put her in a thing to protect her. The manifold, yes, that is what it's called. It is in fact like it's meant to imprison her. They have her slumbering inside of this manifold, whatever mechanism, and I don't see why the old gods wouldn't try to free her. If the Titans want to keep her closed off, the old gods most likely want the opposite to happen. That's usually how it works.
Online, we've
Slash
learned
the void.
name of the artifact, we've learned that it gathers arcane and also our powers, and it really seemed like it was a super weapon, a weapon we cannot destroy. This thing was gathering our powers, becoming stronger, and it was all great until Illyria decided to actually break it in that cinematic.
Yeah, she
this
did.
led to us having no idea what exactly is coming next. Personally, I still think it is really stupid that Xal'atath, the villain that is like 5 steps ahead of us all the time, couldn't expect Illyria to shoot at the artifact itself. Like, this really caught her off guard. However, it looks like she really did break it.
I don't think this is like stupid that she got caught off guard here. I think it was overconfidence, right? I think she just got to a point where, like, you imagine her. She's lived, like, lifetimes upon lifetimes, right? Eons she's lived. And she knows almost everything before it happens. She just sees us as such, like, petty little toys. She can flick us like a booger away, just get rid of us easily. But she's kind of playing along just to entertain herself while she prepares the planet to be devoured, right? So I think she just might have gotten a little bit overconfident here. Didn't expect what came her way. Obviously, Illyria is empowered by the void a little bit, so there's some of that unknown with some of the things she does maybe to Xal'atath. And yeah, she basically got surprised, overconfident, and she got owned.
I couldn't expect
Slightly.
Illyria to shoot at the artifact itself. Like, this really caught her off guard. However, it looks like she really did break it based on this new lore, and it looks like that really pissed off face that we have seen.
Also, this makes her better. I think this makes her a better villain. I don't like the villain that always is like 20 steps ahead and you're a bitch and the jailer basically. His plan is always like, so far ahead of us. He's not even revealing shit. I don't even think he knew what his plan was half the time. But that stuff's dumb. This is more of like she's a really good villain. She's usually beating us. Sometimes we can outsmart her, but most of the time she's just, better than us. That's a better villain. The jailer really hurt you, didn't he? Yeah. Yeah, show me on the doll where he touched
Was
you.
entirely genuine, and Xal'atath
Everywhere.
really was caught by surprise. However, as an ancient being on Azeroth, she knows of everything that has been going on the planet. Remember,
Exactly,
she used to
Burnt
whisper
Burrito.
to us that Dane had corrupted Deathwing, like she had a part in it. So obviously she knew who to get in touch with for a job of this size. Now, here's the thing. Goblins had been greedy and all, and they always looked for their own interests, but I think this is like the craziest thing they have done so far, as they are literally supporting a trans-dimensional mega villain that wants to awaken the planet as a giant void monstrosity. However, this now becomes really interesting, as we have actually
What's up,
gotten
Mighty?
the roadmap for the entire year of the content for the War Within. So in 11.1 Undermine, the Goblins are obviously split, but 11.1.5 actually leads us into content known as Nightfall, and we are revisiting, keep in mind the keyword here, revisiting the horrific visions. This
When this happened, everyone was like, oh, what horrific visions, what's going on, why are these coming back? Why not? These are literally a window into what the world will look like if Xal'atath wins. At least the world just before it gets destroyed. Right? We saw what it looks like if Illyria falls to the void. We saw what it looks like if Orgrimmar falls and everything else. Like, these are literal looks into what could happen. So if you want to prevent something from happening, what better way than to go figure out how it happened and what it looks like in the end if it does happen. So I think that's why we're going back and revisiting it all. I don't know if we're going to have a role to play with Wrathy, and I would expect he's going to play some role in going back, considering he was the one who gave us the capes that allowed us to go back in the first place and not be completely corrupted by the void while we were in these visions. So he'll probably play a role here. But horrific visions, yeah, I see him becoming relevant again for sure. Now, whether or not that means N'Zoth will become relevant again, ooh, I wish. Well, a man can only wish.
strongly implies that N'Zoth is going to be involved, because the original horrific visions were called the horrific visions of N'Zoth that we are revisiting right now. Now here it gets really interesting, and I feel like they may be up to some crazy things here. All this relates to Xal'atath, Belladar, Elune, Darkheart, potentially even the Night Warrior, and Zod himself. So, obviously 11.1 is going to be about the Goblin Civil War, as the raid is called the Liberation of Undermine, and we're dealing with the crazy void goblins that are almost certainly going to repair the Darkheart. Then, things are going to get really bad with Nightfall. In 11.2, we are going to get the Roots of Elune here, in the very likely new zone Rootlands, and seeing that right after 11...
Rootlands, Elune here, playable, Horonir. That's what's probably going to happen. Maybe they come back and then all-out battle in Midnight. Yep, Midnight's going to be the biggest L, right? 11.1.5, we're going to lose. We're going to lose in 11.0, I should say. 11.1, we're going to lose. 11.0. Jesus Christ. 11.1, we lose. 11.1.5, we're dealing with that loss. It gets worse. Shit's going to really hit the fan. Bam, we fucking, we're losing all out. Like, the slow... basically downturn into taking a major L starts now with 11.1 because Midnight, it's going to be bad. It's all going to be bad. We've clearly fucked up. Xal'atath's winning, and Midnight's going to be the expansion where we're currently in a losing state, and we're going to try to turn it around into the last Titan. That's the way I see it all playing out.
1.2 release, Blizzard is going to announce Midnight, which is late summer next year. Everything is going to culminate hard in the mini patches in 11.2. So obviously, the entire awake...
I don't think Silvermoon's going to get nuked. I don't, because I think Silvermoon's going to be the hub city in the Midnight expansion. All the elves coming back together. It's going to be... Blizzard's already confirmed that they are, in fact, revamping that entire city, if not rebuilding it, basically. So... playable Silvermoon, I don't see why they would rebuild one of the largest cities in the game just for it to be a Forgotten Horde's capital city. It's going to be a hub city for the expansion. All the elves are coming together. That's already confirmed in Midnight. So I don't think it's going to get nuked. Just to rebuild it, just to destroy it again? I don't think so. What is this, Daleran?
And the imminent Void invasion will all be explained by this point, and we will know what is really going on. However, the question is, what exactly is Nightfall, and why are we getting horrific visions? Better yet, why are we revisiting it? Well, I mentioned this in a previous video, but it does seem like N'Zoth could potentially be returning. First of all, we've been getting N'Zoth seeing us to time travel with new whispers and dragonflight.
Right.
Then we got the fish in the War Within, and a ton of other small hints related to N'Zoth in particular. Also, most interestingly, in the Undermine patch, we had discovered a really interesting screenshot, a destroyed
these destroyed
facility,
what are
which
these?
could be right around Undermine, that seems to have been corrupted by old god blood. This could potentially be the true prison of N'Zoth, and where the Nerubians are getting the old god parts from, as we had seen in the cinematic and the artwork. And
again, I pointed this out last time. I saw this cinematic so many times and never realized this was a tentacle. I never realized this was a tentacle. You know what I could do right now? I could easily, hold on, let me do this. Let me enhance this. Let me enhance this. 1 second. Edit. I don't know how to fucking use this tool. I use other tools usually to do this stuff. Visual search. No. How do I enhance this shit? No, I know how to do it. Hold on. I'll turn up the brightness on it. Give me 1 second. I'll let this keep playing.
God parts from, as we had seen in the cinematic and the artwork, and this could be their major source of old god blood. I've mentioned this a million times, but old gods can't really die. They transcend this entire mechanic that us mortals experience, although based on the Shadowlands, we could probably transcend that too as well. However, old god blood is magic. You can't really kill them.
Sure is.
You can't really get rid of them. The Titans couldn't kill them, so they had to imprison them. So why do you think that we would just be able to get rid of them for good, like just kill them? It's almost certain that something is going to be happening with N'Zoth and us getting his visions in particular. Now, I don't know whether there is a split here with Xal'atath or not, but I'm almost certain this entire Nightfall event is going to be strongly related to her. Keep in mind, the roadmap doesn't say a zone or a raid, it just says new content, Nightfall. Personally, I'm expecting something with Belladar, as the crystal itself functions.
Yeah, Belladar is going to be relevant for sure. Here it is. Watch this. We're going to enhance the shit. I'm going to enhance the shit out of it. Hold on. Colors, exposure. Yeah, look at how tentacly that is. Look at that tentacle. Look at how fucking obvious it is now. I can't tell if there's actual eyes in here, but if I had to guess, I would say this is one of N'Zoth's tentacles. Look at the hooks through it and shit. Man, this thing gets intense when you enhance it. Hentai, kinky, yeah. It's definitely a tentacle, and I didn't realize it. I've seen this cinematic so many times, but it's so dark, You don't really pay attention, you'll miss it. Yeah, Nazath Shalong. Confirmed. Oh, man.
As the sun for the zones, which means that during the light phase it gives us
It almost looks like adjacent to Yasharoth, maybe.
Once Xal'atath converts it, we are going to get this nightfall.
It's a tentacle, that's for sure.
Like this is going to be a big problem, like we are going to fall into the night where the void is going to rule, and then we are going to get the whispers of the old gods. It might be possible that seeing that the combined old god bodies around, we are going to get the visions through the blood itself.
Yeah,
if you
probably
notice by now in Hallowfall when the void cycle happened, a lot of changes actually occurred in the zone. It didn't just get dark, but everything started turning related to the void. Like it all started becoming a void zone. Now imagine the same thing, but we are not able to actually revert it back to the light. Also, it was strongly hinted by Blizzard that the crystal is going to get transformed ultimately. They did say something along the lines of it reverts back, but what if at some point it doesn't? Then this nightfall,
yeah, that's gonna happen. This is gonna happen. I think this is gonna be part of the midnight hour, whatever it is. You guys remember that little mural on the wall? What the hell was that image? It's from the raid. What the fuck is it called? Old God mural. Wow. Let me see if I can find it again. It's that wall mural. And literally in the image, you can see the crystal over there, and it looks like it's been either captured or completely converted. There's something very weird about it, right? There's something very weird about it. Xal'atath. I'll try to find it.
To trigger the ultimate corruption. Then this is obviously going to lead us into 11.2, where we will discover the Haranir zone with a possible new allied race, and we are also going to discover something with the World Tree, and I somehow feel like this zone will be key to fixing this nightfall. However...
Got it. Here it is. Yep, this mural right here. This is the one I'm talking about. Clearly, this is probably the Hallowfall crystal, right? Like, it just seems like that would make sense, and it's like encased in this shit. The old god here is clearly like, oh, radiating all, he's got his tentacles all around it, feeling very hentai-ish and everything. It's radiating some kind of shit off of it. Like, all this relates, I think, to the Hallowfall crystal. It's some kind of prophecy of some sort. And yeah, most likely this thing is going to go full-on void, and we won't be able to reverse it at some point. While inside the City of Threads, yeah. Yeah, so... we'll see.
Seeing that the void does end up actually invading us later down the line, I don't think we are going to win.
Yeah, who is that old god? I know, that's the question.
At us next. Now, another interesting possibility with Nightfall as well could be something related to Elune. Recently, the Haranir gave us some really interesting hints on how they worship the goddess Azeroth, how they came from a different place on the planet, and how Azeroth apparently has a secret that it cannot yet reveal. There are some hints that, seeing that these are in fact dark trolls, that Elune could potentially be related to Azeroth. Might not be Azeroth itself, but it may be closer to Azeroth than we had previously believed. I think the connection is going to be happening also because we will discover the roots of the first ever World Tree, Elune, are here. Keep in mind, Elune actually...
yeah, we're going to get to the root of things, discover the roots. Deeper its roots will go as Nazath once said, ushering in our coming. There was like some kind of Nazathian roots related line that he's dropped before. So all of this is, yeah, coming to fruition here. It's going to be really important in terms of these roots and the old god blood that's infecting him.
He created this World Tree with one of the Titans, Eonar, and for some reason, Azeroth, the World Soul, sent her followers, these dark trolls, her worshippers, to fix Elune's original creation, this World Tree. If this really bothered Azeroth, you would imagine she would try to destroy it herself, similar to how she tried to destroy the World Core prison that the Titans had been building by turning the earthen into crystals. Furthermore, as you may remember, Elune...
here it is. Like I'm just researching like a madman today. Here it is. Knowing this is the Nazathian whisper. With many eyes, they will see again. They will drink and be uplifted. Deeper, deeper, its roots will reach, welcoming our embrace. Her dreams sing beneath the surface. Our dreams, our song. Now, Azeroth has been referred to as sleeping before. Maybe dreaming. Maybe this has to do with the Emerald Dream, the Emerald Nightmare. There's a lot of references that could come out of the dream, but the interesting thing is, like, he almost says it like she's on their side. Or it's all intentional on their part. But definitely he's talked about roots being very important, and all that's going to come to fruition as well here. We're finally getting into the real deep lore, right? Like the real shit. This is no longer side stuff like, oh, what's going on with Shadowlands? No. This is like the Warcraft lore.
Connected to the night. She's
with many
literally
eyes,
seen as the
maybe
Lord.
spiders,
Famous
maybe
followers
Artemis.
are known as the Night Elves, and we also got the famous Night Warrior that you may remember from BFA, which was literally a creation of Elune.
That wall mural of that old god had many eyes.
Night Warrior has always been kind of vague, and we had no idea how Elune gave this power to Tirada and why she ultimately withdrew it, and I feel like that will soon be explained. Ultimately, I also feel like this Nightfall we might finally learn what Xal'atath really is, or at least
This
we
was so
may
good.
be getting closer to the true answer. Right now, we can kind of guess accurately, but nonetheless, it is always kind of vague. So, I somehow feel like something will be happening here with the Night Goddess Elune, Azeroth. Xal'atath is certainly going to fix her artifact, as Chris Metzer confirmed that she is in fact a multiple expansion villain. It would be ridiculous if you just broke the artifact right at the first patch
game
and
over.
just spoiled her plans immediately. The Goblins are definitely going to get her back on track. She will bring the corruption of Beledar, Nightfall, Haranir, Elune, World 3, and all of this will somehow spiral out of control, and it will lead us into Midnight, which is actually going to be announced in like 7, 8, 9 months. At the moment, it is hard to predict what will
Exciting.
happen exactly, but it will be super interesting. Thank you for watching. Check out a possible playable Haranir by clicking on the screen, and check out my video on Perrin and Stark Mythology by clicking on the screen as well. See you next time.
Another Dorn video. Another video filled with nothing but truths. Anyone who says otherwise is a liar themselves. Great video. Yeah, interesting. Not much speculation. It's really just like kind of looking into all the lore that's been revealed so far and understanding where it's likely to go. It's pretty cool. And I think finally we're getting deep in the roots, deep in it all. Deep into the real lore from World of Warcraft. Sam, your entire life is a lie. Thank you. I appreciate that.